Good afternoon, and welcome in, or welcome back if you've visited my channel before. I'm Mary, and my YouTube channel is Mary's Moving On, and I appreciate you stopping in today. I wanted to say that the purpose of my YouTube channel is to prepare, which I'm doing now, to go from land-bound living to cruise ship living. And I'm in the process, as I say, doing that now. And there's a few things that have come up and some things I want to talk about. I have a lot of questions. I've had a lot of questions from folks asking me, in particular, are you scared? Are you afraid to go solo? You know, they couldn't leave the house solo, so they're afraid. And I said, no. Before we get started on that, would you kindly go to the bottom area there and hit the subscribe, like and share buttons, and that will help keep this channel going, and it'll keep us in contact as we go, because there'll be more videos. I'm just getting started, so I appreciate that. Being afraid of travel, especially on a cruise ship, there's lots of security and lots of cameras everywhere on a cruise ship. So of all the places not to be afraid of, you know, that's the place you should feel the safest, and there's people everywhere. So I don't feel afraid. I'm pretty armed with how to make decisions, and if something happens or something comes up, you know, we can just handle it as it comes, but I'm not afraid. There's lots of experiences on a cruise ship that you have to make your own decisions on, but none of them are life-threatening. There's a doctor in a little hospital down in the lower bowels of the ship. Lots of people who work for whatever ship line you're on to answer any questions and to solve any problems you have. So being afraid, no, I'm not afraid of that. The benefits to me for cruising solo or even traveling solo is I control the pace and I control the destination. So if I want to stay in my cruise cabin all day and read and have room service all day, that's what I'm going to do. Or if I want to go out and do whatever it is I want to do. But when you're traveling with others, or you're traveling with a large group of people, it's a constant negotiation. What do you want to do? I don't want to do that. They said this. Can't we do this? Like, you know, that takes up half the cruise time or half your vacation. Just trying to negotiate what everybody wants to do. That's enough for me. So I like to control the pace of the destination. If something comes up and it's more serious than you thought, you just let it roll off your back and you just keep going. So it's, what could be so serious? I'm not, you know, I haven't had that situation yet. And when you cruise, for me, when I cruise and I travel solo, it helps build up my confidence more so to handle things. I have a lot of confidence in traveling, so I'm pretty good on that part. But as being older, things are coming in a little slower, and I'm reacting a little slower. So solo cruising in particular helps me to make those decisions and handle things as they come, and it makes me a stronger person. It's also a much quieter situation on a ship. You are cruising along, you have your deck chair, if that's what you want to do. You can sit outside in the sun or wherever you choose, just watch the water and just let life, you know, go on past. And it's so satisfying to just turn that noise down in your life and reflect what's happened, what's going to happen, and just catch up and take a breath in life. And for me, that's nurturing, and I look forward to that every time I get on a ship. That, you know, everybody else is running up to the Lido deck or this, and I go the opposite direction. I'm gonna go sit in the sun and not have to listen to that, but that's my choice. But when you're solo cruising, you can make your own decision. So I saw a quote the other day that says, "I'm traveling solo but not alone," and that is so true, especially on cruise ship traveling. There are lots of people on that ship, and you can join them. I mean, they see solo people and there's solo groups that tend to stick together, and they have dinner together or they go to the shows together. You're not left out where you're wondering, gee, can I join this group or that? And you're encouraged to participate with the other solos. The ship has a tendency to announce, hey, solo travelers are special people. On Thursday, we're going to meet for drinks and then go to dining. So meet us at the la la la, and then off you go. They like their solos because I think mainly this group is expanding in service. Last year alone, the solo traveling for ships across the board increased from 10 to 13% for all cruise ships. So there's more solos coming on board, and they are now prepping for that. So they're taking a lot of their cabins and either cutting them in half or restructure them to make them solo cruise only, which will affect the price, which is good, which it'll go down. So there's a few negatives, as I said. There's a couple of negatives that haven't really bothered me too much. But solo cruising can be a little bit more costly. You're not like sharing things. But on a cruise ship, everything's covered, so you're not going to share. But the accommodation is getting those cruise ships to reduce, and they are actively, to reduce the cost of solo cruising. There's a lot of boomers coming out. Maybe you don't have partners, or maybe we're whatever we are, we never had a partner, whatever, and we want to cruise. This is a huge group of people, a huge influx for the cruises, and hopefully they'll get the word that this is what we want to do, and the ship that, or the company that stands out with that, will probably get all the business. So you'll see the price starting to come down on those single supplements and all that good stuff. Another slight negative, which doesn't bother me too much, when you have something happens on the cruise, good or bad, there's no one to share it with. Case in point, years ago, I went to India, and I'd gone to Japan to teach English. I went to Singapore, Thailand, and South Korea, because I had a round world ticket. And then I knew I wanted to hit the Taj Mahal, which is what I did. Off to the Taj Mahal I go. So I was sitting on a concrete bench, a long bench outside the Taj, and out of the corner of my eye, I see these two young guys, 9 and 10, like street kids, running up to me, and with their hands out. You know, I knew that they wanted me to give them money, and we were warned ahead of time, don't do that, don't do that, because you'll never get out of there. If you give one money, you'll never come out of there. So I just, sort of waved them off. But with them, they were bringing like a 4-foot basket, tall basket. So the closer they got, I thought, and the young kid put the basket about 4.5, 5 feet away from me, and then he whipped off the top of it, and out come 2 full-grown live cobras, kind of dancing out of the top, doing one of these things. And I thought, oh my God, what the hell is that? And these kids are like popping them on both of them popping them on the head to get them to dance or whatever they're supposed to do, freaking me out. Right? And so I scooched over about 2 feet, and I went, okay. And I did it, and reached in my pocket, and I pulled out everything that I had in that pocket, and I handed it to the young guy, and I said, take your basket and go, please. You are freaking me out. So they put the top back on, and okay, bye. I ran off to the next group of people. And I looked around like left and right, and there was nobody there to witness that for me, but I saw it. It's in my memories, and I'm sharing that with you. So yeah, that could be a downside, but it's in my head, it's in my memory, so I'm not too concerned about losing it. But it's kind of cool to share something like that with, because share that with someone, because it doesn't happen very often, that's for sure. So, I don't know, more negatives, I don't know. I think for me, it's experiences are more important than regrets. Gee, I wish I would have gone to that dinner. I wish I would have gone to the Broadway show. I wish I would have gone on that cruise and done what I wanted to do, instead of waiting for someone to say, oh, okay, you can go now, or let's go together. Forget that. I had things I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to go live on a cruise ship, and that's what I have to do. And it's going to be solo, and that's pretty much the way it is. So if you have any questions or comments about what we're talking about here, just leave them in the little comment section, and I'll answer them the best I can. And I'm sure you'll have a question or two, because this is not normal kind of life. And again, if you'd hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons below, it really helps me, and it helps for you to know when the next video comes out, because as I said, there'll be more. I'm just getting started, people. So anyway, I thank you again, and until next time, take care.